Hung urjin yujin nup jamsam Pemage sardong pola Yatsen shogin nung drubnye Pemajan Jesudra Kodu kandra magpoko Keki Jesudak drugi Shinji Lapchishek Suso Guru Penmasi Dihon Urjin Yujin Nup Jamsam Pemage Sarang Pola Yatsen Shogin Nup Drubye Pemajang Ne Jesudrak Kodu Kadra Humak Pokor Keki Jesudak Drubgi Jinji Lapchishek Suso Guru Pemasi Dihon Urjin Yujin Nup Jamsam Pemage Sardong Pola Yatsen Shogin Nudrubye Pemajang Ne Jesudra Kodu kadra magpoko Keki Jesudak drugi Jinji Lapchishek Suso Guru Pemasi Dihun O Mahung Benzar 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 Guru Pema Siddhi Om. Good morning and happy Sunday. For those of us in Kansas City, we are experiencing Dharma rain. Lots of rain, lots of nourishing water coming down onto everything. If you're not here in Kansas City else, so we'll all experience what we're experiencing together. Dharma rain washes everything down, purifies everything, nourishes everything. Sometimes feels like an inconvenience, so there's a little teaching there about that there's good things and discomfort happening at the same exact time. So where you choose to put your attention and to put your intention is part of this practice. So as we begin this practice this morning, I'd like you to realize a few things. I want to give you some tips, some pointing out tips on meditation and meditation posture specifically. And when we begin, we want to straighten our spines, align the chakras. Whether you believe in energy chakras or not doesn't matter. We're aligning our spine, the energy. You can think about that, the impulses moving freely up and down the spine. Letting everything sort of go. And if you want to picture a fountain that begins sort of in your lower abdomen, about 2 fingers below your navel, and comes up and out the top of your head, and then comes down and recirculates. 3 channels: central channel, lunar channel, solar channel. Solar's on your right, lunar's on your left. And that energy is just moving. So we want to get our alignment so that we are allowing that to move freely. So however you do that, if you want to prop a pillow behind your back, whatever it is, I just don't slump. So we can use our body as a throttle as we're meditating. So if you're feeling, first you have to check in with your own feelings. Are you feeling a little depressed? Are you feeling a little anxious? Usually depressed means kind of pulling forward or leaning in a little too forward. And anxiety is the other direction. If you're leaning back a little too far, you can sort of plumb yourself. And if you want to think about a string just attached, just holding you gently in that straight alignment, you can make gentle adjustments back or forth. You also, if you are a little too far in your thoughts, and that's part of where we're going to focus today, is if you are in that racing mind, in that popcorn popper mind, you can tuck your chin just a little bit in toward your chest and bring the energy down. We want to come out of our head and into our heart. And that heart center, and not necessarily the emotional heart center, but the spiritual heart center also resides right here. So we want to bring our attention down out of the head. So if you need to pull the chin in a little bit, or maybe you're feeling, emotion and need to pull back a bit, you can raise the chin accordingly as well. So, sorry. Also, I've configured our audio, just housekeeping idea. I've configured our audio a little bit differently today to avoid so much of the thunder noise that's happening around us today too. So I'm primarily just this mic rather than an ambient mic in the room too. So if that's different, send me a little message and maybe I can make an adjustment. With that, let's begin. I want to ring the bell 3 times, and we'll let the sound and vibration call us into this room, call us into our bodies and everything that we're experiencing here, now, nowhere else. We'll begin with the path-clearing and wish-fulfilling prayer to Padmasambhava, followed by our refuge prayer, once in Tibetan and 3 times in English. Dosam Sangye Guru Rinpoche Nungdrup Kunda Dewa Chenpojab Barche Kunsel Dudu Drakpotsel Solwan Depso Jinji Laptu So Chinang Sangwei Barche Jiwadang Sampalungji Drupar Jinji Lo. Precious Guide, one with all the Buddhas of the 3 times, blissful presence and source of all spiritual accomplishments, fierce destroyer of illusion who dispels every obstruction, we pray to you for blessing, inspiration, and realization. Please remove all outer, inner, and secret obstacles and spontaneously fulfill our aspirations. Sangye Chodang Soki Choknam La Zhangchu Bardu Dakni Kapsuchi Dakji Jinsoki Pe Sonamki Drolar Penshir Sangye Drupar Shok. In Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we go for refuge until fully awakened. Through the power of generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom. For the sake of all beings, may we realize and demonstrate our innate goodness. In Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we go for refuge until fully awakened. Through the power of generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom. For the sake of all beings, may we realize and demonstrate our innate goodness. In Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we go for refuge until fully awakened. Through the power of generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom. For the sake of all beings, may we realize and demonstrate our innate goodness. The great Yogi Milrepa sang, "My body is the holy mandala itself, wherein resides the Buddhas of all times. With their blessings I'm freed from all needs and attachments. By day and night I offer them up. Happy am I to do without material things, knowing that all beings in the 6 realms of samsara are inherently Buddhas, and all the 3 worlds the self-creating, measureless Trikaya Palace. Whatever I do is the play of the Dharmadhatu, ultimate reality. Whoever I'm with is the Yidam deity, Wherever I stay is the Buddha's abode. Happy am I to forego outer supports, rituals, and symbols. We'll talk a little bit more about that teaching after our meditation break. This morning I would like to begin with chanting Lama Chenno. Lama Chenno means calling in the Lama, calling in the teacher, but more precisely it means awakening the teacher. Awakening the teacher within you, the teacher within everything. Everything, every experience, good, bad, and neutral, has a teaching. And through the clarity of consciousness, we can begin to garner the lessons of those teachings, good, bad, or neutral. Lama Chenno, Lama Chenno, Lama Che Chenno, 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 Lama Chenno, Lama Chenno, Lama Che Chenno. Let your attention settle out of your mind, out of your thoughts, and into your heart, into your spiritual center. Breathing in your consciousness, breathing in consciousness, all the way through, moving through, replenishing like an endless fountain. The clarity of consciousness. Remembering that consciousness is that state of awareness that is unchanged by the arising emotions, sensations, and thoughts. Unchanged, unaffected. The watcher, the seer, the knower. Inseparable, interconnected. So we let everything go, everything come and go. We see our experiences of thoughts, sensations, emotions arising, dancing, and we can just watch. Enjoy the show. No need to entangle ourselves, no need to control. Just watch from your spiritual heart center, allowing. There's nirvanic peace in leaving things as they are. So just enjoy the natural state, your Buddha nature. Sitting, breathing, being, unaffected. Mani Padme Hum. Om 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 Mani Padme Hum. May all beings everywhere, with whom we are inseparably interconnected and who want and need the same as we do, may all be awakened, liberated, healed, fulfilled, and free. May there be peace in this world and throughout all realms of existence, an end to war, violence, poverty, injustice, and oppression. And may we all together complete the spiritual journey. So we were just chanting Om Mani Padme Hum, which translates as the jewel is in the lotus. The lotus is that flower that comes from mud and things that seem unpleasant when we think about it at first. Mud being the condition that something blooms and blossoms from, but it is the conditions required for that lotus to bloom. So it's the perfect environment, in fact, for that flower to succeed, right? Interesting. It doesn't think about how it would like to be in Arizona, in a desert. It doesn't think about how it doesn't want to be where it's anywhere else. It's an interesting thought. So we think about the similarities and the differences between us and the lotus flower. There's a consciousness that I keep pointing to. Consciousness being this vast, luminous, empty, neutral, unscarred, unfazed thing that we can access. And when we're sitting in our silence, sitting in meditation, sitting in awareness, it's not that we're just trying to be aware of our emotional ties and our attractions and our wants and needs. We're trying to manifest our wants and needs. It's not it at all. In fact, that's a path of suffering in its own. So think about that neutral place, that consciousness that I'm talking about. I'm not talking so much about metaphysical things or magical things, but just a pervasive consciousness that flows and connects everything. Think about it like air or water or elements or whatever you need to think of it as. Energy that pulses through everything. You know, we know that scientifically that, things have vibration to them. They have everything has an energy to it. And that interconnects throughout everything that there is. So there's an interconnectedness based on that collective energy. So think about that consciousness as collective energy. And you can't be apart from it. You can't not be a part of it. Everything spurs from it. But then does this have consciousness? Think about it just for a second. Does this object have consciousness? Does it? Yes. It has consciousness. It doesn't have thoughts. So don't get the two confused. Consciousness is not thoughts. Thoughts arise from consciousness. Emotions arise from consciousness. From that vast luminous space. Everything, this arises from that consciousness. All of the energy things, which is everything, arises from that space. So it's all pervasive. It's through everything. It doesn't require thoughts to access it. And I'm pointing this out because we get lost thinking that we are our thoughts and that our experience is our thoughts. And that's an illusion. So we're working toward this state of being able to sit and access that consciousness that is unfazed by experience. Yeah. It's a big thought, so work through it, sit with it, make it part of your meditation practice, where you are endeavoring to notice, that's a thought, that's an emotion, that is a sensation. That is not it. Thoughts, emotions, sensations are not it. Consciousness is it. So when we can sit back and we can see our sensations. Think about sight, sound, taste, touch, smell, and thoughts. All of those things happen from this state, this space of consciousness. So when we can see things like seeing, then it's really consciousness seeing itself. Another big thought. Consciousness hearing itself. Everything emanating from that consciousness. So when we experience through our human form those sensations, you can see them as the consciousness through this vessel of this human being that also emanated and is connected to and come from that consciousness. Then the consciousness is hearing and smelling and tasting itself. The thoughts are of itself. So it's this cyclical understanding. And it helps us to separate ourselves from that which we have been mired in, which are our thoughts and emotions, thinking that everything is about our emotions and thoughts and sensations. There's a twofold understanding. Ultimate reality is this consciousness I'm speaking of. Relative reality is the reality of the human form. Those things that feel very big and very important. Pain feels very important. It sort of pushes itself to the front of the line. Excruciating pain. Ow. There's nothing else. Ow. But that pain is coming from consciousness. It's a sensation arising from consciousness. So there's two things actually happening. One you're paying attention to, and the other one is just there. You can't get rid of it, but you can learn to pay attention to it. Give it some understanding, and when you understand, that is a pain coming from consciousness. I can sort of begin to separate the sensation of pain and the understanding of the suffering that comes from it. Lots of big thoughts today. So you need to practice this. And this practice is not once a week. It's not just check in on Sunday. I don't care if you've been doing it for 20 years or you've been doing it for 2 days. You have to practice every day. Every day. I'm not telling you how long to practice or how often to practice during that day, but it should be every day. You can find time. You find time for other things. Drinking water, eating meals, going to the bathroom, sleeping, whatever it is. You find time. So find time. This is important. If you want to transcend your states of suffering, you want to have enlightened understanding, you must practice every day. Every day. And when you have an enlightened understanding, you must practice every day. No difference. No difference. You can't go out and learn it. You must experience it. You must have an understanding because you are experiencing it, and you feel the shift of your knowingness between that consciousness and experience. Two things. Very important. So take this seriously. It's not just about checking in for salvation. Salvation is the knowingness. Awareness sanctifies everything. So endeavor. I am here every day practicing. And I turn on this camera so that you can join me. And even after we can be together, back in the chapel, back doing our thing on Sundays, we're still going to practice every day. And to my commitment is I'm going to turn on the camera when I practice at least once every day. I practice multiple times during the day, but I have a set practice that I share with you at 2:30 Central every day. So check in. It's literally 5 minutes of instruction, 10 minutes of sitting in stillness, and then you go on about your day. At least commit to something like that. You don't have to do it on the live version. Do it on the recorded. If you're working or 2:30 is not convenient for you, don't care. Check in with it later, or find an app. Find a Insight Timer or Calm or whatever your favorite, Buddhaful or something. I'm not sure what's out there these days, but find that. Find a meditation CD. I put a CD out a month or so ago. Natural awareness for everyday enlightenment. Listen to that. Go on Spotify. Listen to a meditation. Listen to teachers. Listen, and then sit in stillness and attempt to access that calmness. You'll feel it. You'll know it when you're there. It's a calmness that's not your emotional energy. It's not your anxiety or depression. It's a stillness that is pervasive and an understanding that arises from it. It's literally like sitting and watching things play in the yard in front of you. And you're just watching and unaffected. So try that. Try that, but make a commitment to practice each day and access that which is always there. It's always been there. You just have to remember how to point your attention toward it and know what you're looking for, and stop miring yourself and getting lost in the emotional thralls. Those are all constructs in your own mind and your own obstacles. So let's endeavor to loosen our grip and attachment to those. Very important. So practice every day. And I'm here to help. Yeah. So So let's begin to close our meditation practice today. With the 4 Dharmas of Gampopa and Longchenpa, the prayer for 10 accomplishments by Lama Suryadas, and our bodhicitta dedication, once in Tibetan and 3 times in English. Bless and empower us that our minds and hearts turn toward the Dharma. Bless and empower us that our Dharma practice becomes the path. Bless and empower us that the path truly dispels confusion. Bless and empower us that that confusion itself dawns as primordial awareness. May we realize true sincerity and integrity, inner purity of mind, dispassionate equanimity toward all we see, right understanding of this dreamlike world and the next, loving compassion toward others, and the genuine intention to be helpful in alleviating suffering and confusion. We directly perceive the truths of impermanence, mortality, and interconnectedness. Relinquish wandering thoughts and rampant desires. Accomplish freedom of mind and clarity of spirit. Remember with gratitude those who have gone before and shown the way, and vow to reach together full and complete enlightenment. Jangchup Sem Chogren Poche Makye Panam Ke Gyurchik Ke Panya Parme Payam Gong Ne Gong Du Perwar Sho. May the pure, brilliant sun of bodhicitta dawn in each and every heart and mind, dispelling the darkness of suffering and confusion, unstoppably until all are illumined and awakened. May the pure, brilliant sun of bodhicitta dawn in each and every heart and mind, dispelling the darkness of suffering and confusion, unstoppably until all are illumined and awakened. May the pure, brilliant sun of bodhicitta dawn in each and every heart and mind, dispelling the darkness of suffering and confusion, unstoppably until all are illumined and awakened. Body, speech, and mind directed toward awakening and for the benefit of all beings without one single exception. I hope that was helpful for you today. Gives you a little bit of something to noodle on, something to think about, something to consider, and wind into your practice. It's important. This is not a bliss break. Apparently my tongue is tired. It's been moving too much this morning. So as always, it's never required to donate, or never. There's not a fee for what we do here. But if you feel called and want to support what we're doing financially, please go to our website, kansascitybuddhistcenter.com, and make a donation there. You can also find my email address, or you can message me on this app, whatever app you have connected on this morning, and reach out. Any question, is an important question. So please feel free to reach out and I can help. With that, have a great, great day. Looks like maybe our Dharma rain is moving on. So whatever happens today, just experience it. Know that it's all consciousness, all energy. Everything belongs in its rightful place. So I'll see you tomorrow.